All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a really big shift in something that's, frankly, one of the toughest parts of any operation, the recovery. For so long, the road back to health has been paved with opioids. But you know what? That's all starting to change. Let's get into it.
I mean, think about it. You go through the surgery, the doctors say it was a success, everything went great. But then, the days that follow can be this grueling battle against pain, against nausea. You just can't move. That's the real challenge we're tackling today.
For decades, the standard answer to post-op pain was just a heavy dose of opioids. And yeah, they're powerful painkillers, no doubt. But the side effects? They are notorious. They can make you incredibly sick, slow down your gut, and can even get in the way of the very healing they're supposed to help with. There's got to be a better way, right?
Well, that better way is here, and it brings us to a much more modern, targeted solution, the transversus abdominis plane block. We just call it the TAP block. This isn't about flooding your whole system with painkillers. This is about precision.
So what is this thing exactly? Okay, a TAP block is what's called a regional anesthetic. Basically, a local anesthetic, something like ropivacaine or bupivacaine, is injected into a super specific spot in the abdominal wall. This little space, the transversus abdominis plane, is where all the nerves are that give feeling to the skin and muscles on the front of your abdomen.
And this is a total game changer in strategy. Instead of waiting for pain signals to scream their way up to your brain and then trying to quiet them down with drugs, the TAP block is like a roadblock. It numbs the nerves right where the surgery happened, stopping those pain signals before they even get started. It's proactive, not reactive.
Now, there are a couple of ways to do this. Anesthesiologists usually use an ultrasound to guide the needle into just the right spot. That's called US TAP. But surgeons can also do the block from the inside during a minimally invasive surgery, using their camera to see exactly where they're going. That's LAP TAP. And a recent analysis from 2024 found that while they both work equally well for pain, the surgeon-led LAP TAP method is often way faster.
Okay, so the theory is great, but does this targeted approach actually work in the real world? Let's look at the data because honestly, the evidence is pretty compelling.
This quote here is from a big 2023 systematic review that looked at a ton of studies on hysterectomy patients, and the conclusion is crystal clear, and we see it across all kinds of abdominal surgery. TAP blocks just work. They lower pain, and this is key, they seriously reduce the need for opioids.
You can really see it right here in this chart. This is from a huge meta-analysis of gastric surgery patients. It's comparing pain scores on a 10-point scale. Look at that. At 6 hours after surgery, the patients who got a TAP block reported way lower pain scores than the control group. That's a difference you can actually feel, right in that critical early recovery time.
And here's another number that really drives it home. What this means is that, on average, patients who got a TAP block were comfortable for over 2.5 hours longer before they even had to ask for that first dose of strong painkillers. That is a huge window of comfort. And here's why that all matters so much. It's this direct connection. Using fewer opioids isn't just about the long-term risks. It has an immediate positive impact on recovery. A 2024 meta-analysis confirmed it. By cutting down on opioids, TAP blocks also dramatically lower the chances of post-op nausea. For any patient, avoiding that awful, debilitating side effect is just a massive win. But here's the thing. The TAP block isn't just some standalone trick. It's actually a key piece of a much larger, more holistic approach to surgery. To really get its full impact, we have to see how it fits into this bigger philosophy. And that philosophy is called Enhanced Recovery After Surgery, or ERAS for short. It's this whole set of protocols that gets everyone, surgeons, anesthesiologists, nurses, even the patient, on the same page. The goal is simple. Minimize the body's stress from the surgery so you can get back on your feet way faster.
And this is where the TAP block fits in perfectly. It's literally the cornerstone of the ERAS goal for pain relief that doesn't rely on opioids. And by cutting those opioids, you get this amazing domino effect. It helps the bowels wake up faster. It means less nausea, which lets patients eat and drink sooner. And when you're not in pain and you're not sick, what can you do? You can get up and move, which is absolutely critical for a faster recovery.
But as fantastic as the TAP block is, the story doesn't end there. It's not the only player on the field anymore. To really understand its place, we kind of have to see how it stacks up against some of the other advanced nerve blocks out there.
So first up, let's compare it to the quadratus lumborum block, or QL block. Now, the TAP block is fantastic for numbing the abdominal wall, what doctors call somatic pain. But the QL block can go a step further. Because of where the anesthetic spreads, it can cover not just that wall pain, but also the visceral pain, that deep,
internal pain from the organs themselves. That makes it a really compelling choice for certain types of surgeries.
And the innovation just doesn't stop. This table here kind of shows how the evidence is constantly evolving. It's summarizing the findings from a major meta-analysis. It compared the TAP block to another technique called the erector spinae plane, or ESP block. And the data from over 1,200 patients showed that in some cases, the ESP block actually provided even better pain relief and reduced opioid use more than the TAP block, and it was just as safe.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, the TAP block isn't some magic one-size-fits-all cure. Think of it more as a foundational, incredibly effective tool in a sophisticated and growing toolkit. The goal of modern pain management isn't about finding one single best block. It's about understanding the strengths of each one and picking the right tool for the right patient and the right surgery.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe most important question. We've got all these amazing precise tools, TAP blocks, QL blocks, ESP blocks, and more. The future of surgical recovery is all about personalization. So how do we combine all the factors, the patient, the type of surgery, the unique properties of each block, to create a truly custom pain management plan that makes recovery faster, safer, and just plain better for everyone?